Hello everyone and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 87. Today is Sunday, May 10th, 2015, and I'm really glad that you guys could join me today. I hope that you guys have all called your mothers. I called my mother while I was walking to the grocery store. And wished her a happy Mother's Day, and she was surprised because I had talked to her just Friday, and that was much higher than normal frequency of calls. So happy Mother's Day for everyone who spawned. Let's see. I have only one knitting project on the needles today, so it's a little bit full of shenanigans. I'm sorry about the light. It was apparently really touchy today with my camera, so it's going from like perfectly normal to oversaturated, and I just can't figure out how to fix it, so not too much I can do about it today, unfortunately. It's actually probably ideal conditions because it's overcast today, so I do not know. So I just have one project on the needles right now, which is just so full of shenanigans, and now I'm going to have to, like, very carefully extract it. I forgot to flip it inside out before starting. So, I am working on the Union Jack Argyle sock, which is a pattern from Think Outside the Socks. And this is my contribution to the underappreciated patterns cal. Mine is, I think, number 19 as far as projects are concerned. And I guess it's worth noting that, what is it? Mine is maybe a little bit odd, for lack of a better word, because I'm actually doing this top down instead of toe up, and I'm almost done with the gusset decreases now. And it's actually pretty long so far. It does fit the Deersey Wool's foot, thank goodness. I'm knitting this out of Woolmice Dora and some red yarn from Australia, which I believe the company was called Fiberwebs, and I got that in a swap. Actually, I got both of these in a swap. This was the time my mother-in-law was my swap partner for the Woolmice. So this is continuing on quite nicely. I decided, to do a 3-stripe or a 3-row stripe on the bottom of the foot as opposed to the pattern, because I did a flap and gusset heel, and it's just a lot easier that way. And it seems to be sort of curling in a little bit, so hopefully I have my floats long enough on this. But I am really liking how it's looking. It's pretty substantial for a gusset, so hopefully it's not too big either. I'm just, pulling it out, because having it right side out, you can definitely see a little bit of a pucker. And normally I'm really good about my floats and color work, so I'm not sure what went awry exactly, but I'm not going to worry too much about it either. So let's see, I think I've almost done like a whole pattern repeat. I've done like more than a pattern repeat, I think, since I talked to you. Or how much have I done in this sock? Well, what was it? When I talked to you guys last, I was motoring around in the round, so I was probably here. Another fun fact was I was knitting the chart upside down. Not that it really truly matters, but I was. And I think I was like one repeat in, and I'm like, I'm not ripping this sock out again. So, I think at this point I'm going to actually transition to even smaller needles. I'm currently on the 1s. I needed the 1.5 for the cuff, so that it would get over my husband's giant man heels, which are in sharp contrast to his skinny chicken legs. And everyone else thinks this is quite funny that I can say my husband has skinny chicken legs, but he does. It's true. So it is continuing right along. And like I think I was just knitting like a woman obsessed, because this is a lot of sock. A lot of sock. So it's coming along nicely, but it is my only project on the needles right now too, so I guess this isn't totally surprising. But hopefully I can, get working on this. I do have my skein of, Blue Suzanne waiting in the wings for a time when I can cast it on, but for now, it is just a project which is not yet to come. Maybe some point soon it will become a project, because I would really like Woolmisa socks for myself. So that's the story there. It is coming along. It's for the underappreciated pattern cowl, which is a knit along that I'm hosting in Sock Knitters right now, and you guys feel free to join in. All you have to do is pick up the only thing to qualify for the cowl, your project must be, there must only be 50 projects or less in the project or whatever with respect to the pattern. And there are so many really cool sock patterns out there, which don't basically have a lot of knitters for them. So, and I suppose its evil twin is, like the classic ones where those 4 or 5 sock knitting patterns which everyone knits over and over and over again. And there's something really satisfying about that. But, so I would say, a lot of the ones that are in the cowl so far, there's a decent number of self-published. There are a lot which are in books, especially like compilation books and stuff like that. And a couple test knitters, sort of pushing the boundaries, but you know what? I don't feel like being the knitting police, so the cowls that I run in Sock Knitters are about as laissez-faire as the cowls I run in my podcast group, so come on in, it's fun. They're a friendly, chatty bunch. And honestly, the Woolmisa Blue Suzanne might end up being a pair of jacks, which is definitely does not qualify as an underappreciated pattern, but I will be doing the Union Jack Argyle, so at last, finally, socks that work. So, I have been knitting like a woman obsessed on that pattern, but really I've been spinning like a woman obsessed. So, this is supposed to be, I guess I didn't weigh it. This is my Into the World Death Fiber. This is my, I am fractal spinning it. So last week I talked about how I wanted to start playing around with the fiber. Well, I'm like 2/3 done spinning the singles now. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. So, just bring all of it at once. So I have this ready to go for plying. This is the first part, which were 6. Basically, I stripped the fiber into thirds, and then this was one of the thirds. This was a third, which was then split basically into 6 parts, or this guy here. And the last one I need to do is the third I split into thirds. So it'll be a, I'm trying to think of the best nomenclature for a fractal spin. So this is a 6, this will be a 3, and this will be a 1, or is it really a 1/3 a 1/9 and a 1/18. These problems, I don't know, but I guess whatever, a 6-3-1 probably makes good enough sense. So I'm a little bit worried I might have overspun it a bit. I was spinning like a woman obsessed, I'm not gonna lie. So I was, what is it? I started this probably, it must have been Friday night. And really, I wasn't feeling very well Thursday and Friday for whatever reason. But I ended up spinning a good chunk of this Friday. Or what was it? I started this one on Friday. I pretty much spun this one end to end yesterday. And who knows how far I'll be getting on these guys, but it's definitely looking very doable for all these pieces coming together. So this is a part of the Mega Cell. This is Into the World in the Death colorway. So it has, you can definitely see it here. I believe the colors aren't too crazy, so the colors are crazy. So it is a purple, a sort of turquoisey teal, and black. So it's really pretty and really cool. Maybe this one shows the colors a little bit better. So, and actually I'm really impressed with how inky dark the black is. So there's also a part of it, there's like grays and spinning from the, like, basically the whole third was definitely a very different texturally than spinning from the 6 little balls. But the goal is a 3-ply sock yarn. I'm hoping that I can finally get it on my wheel. Or what is it? Like a fingering sock yarn. So that is right there. It is coming along nicely. I am a good way there. So that's why maybe I guess I'm not recording at an unusual time today. But I wanted to just basically finish off that single before I podcasted today, so I was just spinning away. So I'm going to be winding that off the bobbin and then actually holding everything to be plied. So I also finished this guy, which is why I just sort of jumped everything in line, but this isn't really finished yet. I still need to ply it. But I got everything ready to go for plying. So this is the Your Daily Fiber Camel Silk. I finally finished spinning it. I put a good burn on this, what was this, Wednesday night and Thursday, and just finally managed to power through the rest of it. So it is resting for the time being. I will be 2-plying it on itself, so I have end number 1 here and end number 2 here. And so, but I'm actually holding off on plying, and I have a very good reason, which I will get to in a little bit. So it is singles, it is ready to be plied, it is not yet plied. So that is the story there. It's definitely very soft, it's very gorgeous, so I am looking forward to finishing this guy off. And as I was winding it off, I'm like, geez, I could use these as singles. But I think I want just that little bit more structure on this, so I'm going to ply it. Even though it will decrease my total yardage, I think it would probably be a good thing. So, camel silk, the singles are done, the mess is over. It just sort of wants to stick to everything, but when it's spun up, it holds together. So, that is right there, and it's hanging out in a plastic Ziploc bag for the time being. Normally I ply my fibers pretty much as soon as I'm done spinning them, so this is a little bit of a change in pace for me. And what I pulled out, because I think by the time I see you guys next, I will have already started this, is I pulled out my Julie spin, so this is the Plum Blossom colorway I was showing you guys last week. It is next to go on my wheel, and I think, what is it? I think my plan is just to spin it end to end and apply it on itself, and see how that turns out. I guess I haven't checked out in the spin along board to figure out what other people have been doing with it, but I think that is a pretty simple plan, and a good plan. It's very girly. Very, very girly. But that is likely going to be next on the wheel. Let's see. Do I have other spinelli thoughts? Not so much. So that's her there. I'm, really glad the camel silk project over. What is it? That's been a work in progress since what? Sometime in February? January? So, it is good that it's, coming to its conclusion, but not yet. So, as some of my, longer-term viewers know, I like to participate in the Knit Girl Stash Dash. Because of that, it's sort of the case where, what is it? It's, the 10th of May. Stash Dash is actually starting the 22nd. They actually have some new options this year, so I'm pretty excited about that. Because, what is it? I think I did 4K last year. I think I had an entire episode on how I was planning to do 8 or 9K of knitting and spinning, and nah. But what this means is that I'm taking some, or the short answer is that I'm making sure not to finish any whips until the 22nd, which means I'm not going to start applying anything because I can't spin anything, because otherwise I have to cut it off the wheel, and that just isn't any good. So plying is a commitment. So I'm not going to apply anything until after Stash Dash begins. So right now, I'm spinning like a madwoman. Who knows what time I'm going to have during the summer. So this is just a way for me to basically get through all of that. And now the question is whether or not I say I'm going to do the 3K and succeed, or if I do the 5K and maybe fail. But I figure that taking, that with all of the spinning, maybe it's not too bad in order to do now that I have the wheel, in order to actually make a 5K. I'm not sure. The day job gets in the way. But this means, so I did finish the sweater. I wasn't going to not finish the sweater. But I probably won't be actually finishing anything until, the May 22nd start date for that. And, I guess it would make sense to sort of count things up and figure out what's going on, but, oh, whatever. I'll live dangerous. I'm not sure what other projects I want to include in it, but I did snag, something from the stash which I would like to play around with this year. So this is my Nest Superwash Merino, and I think that the short answer is that this is still probably one of my, this is a very, very lovely skein of yarn. It's probably about 400 yards, and I would like to make something with it fairly soon. So I pulled it out. I'll probably wind it up, and maybe I'm just suspect to cast on itis right now, because it is really quite gorgeous right now. But I'm not quite sure on the pattern right now. But I think that it would, I'm definitely thinking shawl, and, what is it? I think it's proof, or whatever, that this game right here is like proof that Nest is actually one of my favorite fibers to work with. So we'll see. I'm trying out the Julie Spins next. Who knows? But the Into the World is lovely. I like Nest better. Ah, man, I just love it. I don't even understand. I feel slightly bad that I really enjoy getting a fiber that I never have time to obtain, but I'm sure you guys understand. So, do you guys have any ideas for this? This is the Primavera colorway. So I guess at this point there's probably enough out there in the wild that someone probably actually has knitted up. It's definitely very, like, what would it be? I would call it like a muted pastel rainbow. I did a fractal spin on this, so there are basically the long color repeats. And I was like thinking, I don't know, because I've already knit a Holden, but I think that is a really pretty fetching pattern, and since this is about the right yardage, I think it would make sense. I was also thinking maybe of doing like a citron, but since I only have this amount, I'm wondering if it's going to be too small for it to be a really useful length. So I also have, what is it, the Hitchhiker, and I think that might also be really cute in that, but maybe it would be too short because Hitchhiker is really meant for Woolmisa. So what do you guys think? It may turn out that I wind and start casting on something before anyone even comments, but who knows? Oh, I guess the other thing too is that I actually have two skeins wound up in here. I have my my pretty dreadful Navajo ply. Oh man, oh. I didn't do a good job with that. It's just funny to go back and look and see what you've done before and be like, ooh, wait a second. I guess that's why I ended up taking the Navajo plying class, to increase in skill and experience. And honestly, I haven't practiced since taking the class, so I probably should. But it was such an intuitive, nice way of doing things, so I think this in total is the right number here, so we shall see. But I think this wants to be something at some point soon. So what do you guys think? I am curious. Oh, okay. I'm just distracted by my yard, I'm sorry. So that's right there. It hasn't been, what is it? So, la-di-da-di-da. So, I probably won't be finishing anything for the next 2 weeks, but I did want to talk briefly about Stash Dash before it actually started. Even though I won't be doing a crazy plan and blog post like I was last year. But that's why I'm not playing anything for the time being. And if it turns out that I end up spinning the Julie spins next week, then that'll also be put in the plastic bag of good intentions to be applied at the beginning of Stash Dash. And really the plying should go really fast, so it shouldn't be a big deal. In that case, then I'll be done with all of these, what is it? All of these spin-along things. What is it? So, the Camel Silk, the Death, and the Julie Spins. What is it? So, the Camel Silk was part of my Something Special cow from the first quarter of the year. The Death is for the Mega Sale, and then the Julie Spins is for the April through June Complete Twisted and Arbitrary spin along. So that is the story there. So, so when I finish whatever, basically clearing out all these spinning intentions, then I can go back to spinning from my bin. So what is it? I have the Pound-a-thon challenge, which I'm trying to work through. I still have basically 8 more ounces, or sorry, I just have 4 more ounces, 4, to finish carding. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that tonight. I'm more likely to do it on a Sunday than I am any other day of the week. And that might just turn out to be my Tour de Fleece plan. I'm not sure. I guess the sooner I finish spinning the yarn, the sooner I can finish knitting that sweater. And I believe that the deadline for that is the end of September. So I will need to finish it at some point. And then, what is it? I have a Polworth and a BFL Silk that are still left in my bin. I think that's it. So, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty close. I was surprised at how quickly I was burning through those 4 ounces, so I think it's very doable. All of my bin fibers, which is good. It's a little bit too warm to have that yarn sitting on my lap. So, is that really it? I think so, because the camel silk was also in my bin as well. So I think I'm really close to finishing it, aside from there's just the, whatever, getting through all of, what is it, the 7 remaining skeins I need to do, which is, 14 ounces, I think. No, it's not 14 ounces, it's less than that now, but whatever. Math. I'm not in a math mood today. Maybe that's why I'm not adding up my plans for Stash Dash. But that is the story there. So I hope you guys are also planning on participating in Stash Dash. Do you have any grand plans you'd like to talk about in the group? I'd like to know. And sometimes what is the chatter thread is a little bit insane in the Knit Girls group. So, let's see. Anything else? I'm sorry that I still don't have a beautiful picture of me wearing my sweater. I was trying to snag my boss to take a picture because he is moonlights as a photographer, and he's actually really good. And I totally missed him the day I wore it to work. So I'll have to wear it at work again and try again, because I would, what is it? He will do a much better job than the Dear Sweet Lovable one. The Dear Sweet Lovable one just doesn't. He doesn't have the photographer's eye. My boss has the photographer's eye. So, what is it? And I sort of want the sweater picture taken while I'm wearing whatever my nice work clothes as opposed to the t-shirt and shorts. Let's see, I will not be recording next week, but I will be able to record the week after, I believe. And if we do some math, that is going to be the 24th, I think. Yeah, that adds up. 14 plus 10 is 24. So, I should have lots to show you in 2 weeks, but there's just no way that there's going to be time to record on the 17th. So, that is the story there. And I hope you guys all have a very lovely week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.